Good evening, everybody. I'm not much for doing selfies, so this is kind of new to me. But I just wanted to give my friends and family an update, and anybody else that's looking to come to Prime for their CDL license as a Prime student driver. So that means you don't have a CDL and you're looking to transfer or actually get your CDL. I just started this. I did a lot of research before I chose Prime. They're a great company from what I can see. Everybody's going to have their negatives. So, all you naysayers, I don't need negative responses or anything like that. I made my choices based on my desires, my goals, everything that I'm looking to do. So, but I wanted to give a recap. I just finished day 4 of the Prime Student Driver Orientation, and wanted to kind of give a recap for everybody, all my friends and family, so they kind of know what's been going on with me, and then a recap for anybody that's looking that might find this out on YouTube once I post it. So far it's been pretty good. I'm from Phoenix. I left out of Phoenix bright and early Saturday morning, April 14th. I rented a car instead of taking a Greyhound bus. I didn't feel like riding that long trip, so I rented a car, which they say they'll reimburse me after I get my first paycheck. So it's a couple weeks, but it was actually cheaper than the cost of the Greyhound, so they'll reimburse up to the cost of the Greyhound. So that was the choice I decided to make. In doing so, I drove all the way up here. Wanted to see if I could do a 10-hour day because you can expect that you're going to do a lot of 10-hour days, 10 to 11-hour days. If you count your on duty time, pre trip inspections, and everything, you could actually be pulling 14-hour days easily. You'll have to learn all that though. But anyway, I drove up, stopped, got some gas along the way. The Hyundai Elantra that I rented actually got between 42 and 53 miles to gallon, even through the mountains. So very, very impressive. Not the most comfortable car for a big guy like me, but for the price, it ended up looks like before gas and everything, the total cost was like 27 bucks to get from Arizona to here to rent the car. Not too bad. 2 days worth of drive time because I turned it in Sunday before my deadline. So they actually only charged me 2 days worth of driving time. So got here to the Ramada Inn, checked in. They do. I'm in Salt Lake City, by the way, and they do assign you a roommate, 2 people to a room. My roommate was actually here. He had just finished his what we call TNT trainee and trainer. So he just gotten done with that, getting ready to get his own truck. Actually was in the process of being sent out to recover a truck from somebody that had medical issues along the way. So he, as a matter of fact, left a couple days ago, and I saw him in the lobby tonight. He just got back with that truck here, and he's waiting to get his own truck at this point. So anyway, he was pretty cool. Enjoyed hanging out with him, talking to him, and everything, learning from him, getting to know some of the things from him. So we Sunday was kind of a slow day. Went around, made sure I picked up things from Walmart that I forgot. I swore I packed like toothpaste, wasn't in there. So borrowed his Saturday night and went and bought some Sunday. But anyway, so Monday, that's where the meat of it starts. So I'm at the Ramada Inn and everything. Not the best hotel in the world, not that well kept up, but a room's a room and it's free, so I can deal with that. Shower head sprays outside all over everything. It's held together on the gooseneck with electrical tape, which isn't designed for water. But hey, I've reported it several times, and even again today showed him a video of the water spraying all over the inside of the bathroom. It's still covered with electrical tape, so whatever. So anyway, Monday we get up, shuttle shows up. We get on the shuttle and we head to the terminal, not too far from here, but you got to get on the freeway. My driver literally scared the crap out of me. We had, I don't know, I think it's 10 people on each one. And he had been up all night, I think. He was one of the hotel shuttle drivers. He'd been up all night. My roommate says he thought he was probably on drugs. I don't know. drugs, but my roommate said he was pretty sure from his experience that this guy was coming down off of some coke or something. Anyway, he's driving like super fast, getting on the freeway around a curve with a cell phone in his hand. Scared the crap out of me. So every time after that he was our shuttle driver, I'd wait for the next shuttle because I just did not want to be on that vehicle. So we get up there, we get checked in. And we start first with roll call and find out, who's with what, doing what. We get in, we start doing some stuff, start initially with paperwork. They pilled a bunch of us off and sent us off to Concentra for our drug tests and our physicals. Well, I'm sorry. We did a urine test right there on site. They pulled us out of class. We did a urine test right there on site. Those got sent back. And we're testing. I just got my results back today. Not everybody's had their test results back. If you are coming here and you have done drugs at all, anytime recently, even the past few months, you need to be honest with yourself and you need to be clear that you're not going to pass that test, because if you do and they find it, you're not driving for 3 years. Bottom line. They'll give you a chance to fess up and you can leave, and I think that gives you a chance to go get clean and then come back. But if they find it before you tell them, you're done. 3 years, no license. So obviously that's not a problem with me. You also cannot drink. So even once you get your test done, you cannot drink during your training period. You cannot drink. Not one drink, none. The hotel, if they catch you, they'll report you. If they find beer cans in your trash can in your room, they'll report you. They know the rules and they work with Prime, and you'll be found out. So don't do it. But anyway, so from there we went to Concentra, where we sat and we all got lined up to do our physicals. Physical, not what I was thinking. Hernia check, drop your drawers, turn your head and cough. A forced hearing test, where they stand about 5 feet away, and they say something towards one ear, and you have to tell them what they said. They turn you around and they say something in the next ear. Got a little bit confused, and I said, "Can you say that again?" The first word was cat. I heard that, no problem. Second time was I couldn't hear her, so I said, "Can you say that again?" So she repeated, and I said, "Did you say kitten?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Okay, I'm good." So I passed the vision test. You stand back, you pass your vision test. I don't need my glasses for long distance anyway, so that wasn't an issue. I passed that. Blood pressure, that was all good. Had to pee in a cup there. That was for urine levels. They did find sugar in my urine, so we had to question about that, but I take a medicine that actually creates sugar in the urine, so we're good with that. They did a glucose test. I was well within my range, and I made sure before I left, and I made sure what I was eating along the way, that I was careful about what I was eating so I wouldn't run into that potential. Some people didn't do the same. We lost one guy because he didn't bother to mention that he had blood clots, and they noticed something on his legs and said that it wasn't going to work for him right now, so he needed to go back home and get treated. We had another guy, he's still with us right now, but his glucose was extremely high. So they gave him another day to come back, and I worked with him. I let him use my meter. I gave him his own little Lancet so he could check it, and they still maintained pretty high. I gave him some, and he's on meds, but he hadn't been taking them properly, and they probably weren't the right dosage. But I let him test the meter. Him and another guy did. The other guy ended up passing the next day without a problem. But I told him specifically, I said, whatever you do in the morning, eat the eggs, stay away from any carbs, no bread, no milk, juices, because he had some milk, or he had to have some juices, a couple different juices that morning, and some other things. So, naturally that's going to spike it up. So he went ahead and went back to test this morning. Before he did, he tested, and he was at like 313 today. And he said, "Well, I don't know why. All I had was eggs and a glass of milk." And I said, "Dude, I already told you stay away from milk." So what they did is they told him to go ahead and fast overnight today. They sent him home, or not home, but to the hotel. And they told him to fast overnight and come back and test tomorrow. So hopefully he passes. I don't know. I'm not seeing that as a high level of anticipation. I have a feeling they're going to send him home for 30 days, and he's just got to get it under control and then come back. So that was day one. We come back. We work on computer-based training. be wide awake because they get boring. A lot of signatures of paperwork online. You're signing stuff with a mouse. Some of the PDFs you can't read real well, so make sure you got your glasses on if you need them. And that was kind of it for that day. So we come back the next day. The people that didn't go to Concentra the first day went the next day. And we worked more on finishing up the CBTs that we hadn't done. We got to spend some time doing administrative paperwork and stuff like that. Not a lot of stuff, some more instructions and things like that. Day 3, we got to watch some more videos. We met with one of the guys from the tire shop, went over all the things with the tires, found out some really cool stuff. Like, for instance, Prime has their own tire company. So if all the other tire companies stop making tires, they still have tires. So they do their own retreads. They have their own retread shop. We went over the things, the costs, which are extremely high. They're like buying 35-inch tires for my Jeep. So some of them are a little bit bigger or a little bit more. But anyway, so we went through that. We went and saw where they rebuild trailers that have been damaged or wrecked. He walked us through like a trailer inspection of things to look for on the trailers and stuff like that. Looking at the brakes a little bit, kind of a mini pre-trip for those of you that are looking, but not a full pre-trip. Didn't go over the engine. That's not his forte. We did do a video of pre-trip over the Forte. The instructor's there. Ben was our instructor for that. Really, really knowledgeable. He's been working with us, helping us guide. He's one of the examiners here. So when you come back, you're probably going to do a pre-test with him or maybe Brad and and your final test to get your CDL. So you want to listen to those guys. You want to learn what they have to say because this is what they do day in and day out. And they're the ones that are going to mark that signature on there. So what they tell you to learn, learn. What they tell you to remember, remember. Pay attention. Really good. We got to get into the simulator on day 4. That's today. And man, that was fun. They start with shifting. They do what's called double clutching. If you're not familiar with that, watch that on YouTube. It's basically you have to push in the clutch. When you're upshifting, you push in the clutch, move to neutral, let off the clutch, and you don't push your clutch all the way like old school people like me. You push it all the way, you'll grind the gears. So you only push it a few inches down, put it into neutral, take your foot off, push it in again, and bring it into the gear. You're not allowed to float the gears, dry shift, anything like that, at least not this stage. You got to follow their method. Now, the funny thing is they're going all to automatics, so eventually the manuals will go away. I won't even be training with a guy with a 10-speed, but I'll have to come back and I'll have to test on a 10-speed. So I'll have to spend time on the pad and the simulator again practicing before I can even take my test. And then I can go out and take my CDL test. But they're going away from those, and their main goal is just to make sure anybody that they hire still has the doesn't have the automatic only restriction on their license, because if you have automatic only, that limits what you can drive. So but anyway, so downshifting, once we got that down, it became a little bit easier, and then they throw us into downshifting. That's a lot different. Still double clutching, but this time when you're downshifting, you're waiting for a certain speed area, and then you push in the clutch, you pull it to neutral, and when you can't coast more than a truck length, so you can't be in neutral for very long. Then you go ahead and rev it up, and you got to get the RPMs over 1500. You rev it up, and you pop it into gear. Pretty interesting. Ran through that a few times. We ran through some over-the-road scenarios where they threw in different things like rain. It's like a real road. You're driving a road in California, I think it is, and you're cruising down there. There's cops, so you have to follow the move over laws. You have to follow the speed limits. There might be obstacles. I actually had 2 major crashes. One of them was a Ford F-150 that was a very aggressive driver. I have no clue where, because he had passed me, and then I might have passed him again at some point. I had no clue where he came from, but everybody says it looks like he clipped me in the back. Collision, done, over, reset. But prior to that, I have been kind of talking crap to the instructor and saying, that he needs to throw some challenges in there. And he did with one guy, the guy before me, he threw him a blown tire. The guy kind of blew it because he missed the exit the first time because there was a construction tractor on the freeway in front of him. He failed to actually get, he should have downshifted, gave himself 8-second following, and stayed behind the tractor because the tractor got off on the exit. Instead, to avoid hitting the tractor, he moved over to the left lane. Well, that didn't give him enough speed to get over in time to get off on the exit. So once he passed the exit, game over. So when he went through it the next time, he actually knew that because it was the same scenario. But instead of getting to the point where he got to exit and park the truck, he got thrown a blown tire. So it vibrates. It's realistic. I mean, it's 3 screens, one in front of you. Actually, it might be, one in front of you and one to the right of you. That's kind of like your passenger window, and the passenger front window, the passenger side window, and your mirrors. You got your full mirrors and everything, except for the front hood. You don't have your right hood mirror, but you do have your left hood mirror. So it's just like that. Just like being in a truck, you see what's coming up on you. You still have to go through the downshifting, upshifting, those things. So I'm on this same stretch, and all of a sudden, my trailer starts swaying big time. And I'm like, what the heck? I thought maybe he threw me some wind. So I'm trying to back off on the speed, trying to get this thing in control, and I was all over the road. He was giving me crap. I mean, they give you crap, and it's fun. But he's just talking all this crap to me, and I could not straighten it out. And finally, into the ditch, collision, boom, game over. I looked at him, I said, what'd you throw at me? He said, dude, you just had a DUI level 5. That's the most extreme DUI. He said, you're out of job. And I was like, man, I don't even drink. But he said, now you know what it's like. So yeah, that was a little scary because that trailer was all over the road. I was almost hitting cars. I was trying to avoid them, and I just couldn't keep it straight. It's really realistic. It's really cool. It's really an expensive simulator, but it is challenging and it's fun. And there's a whole lot much more scenarios that we haven't even gotten into. We got into doing some backing today. That was fun. So by the end of today 4, I was the first and the only one today that actually had all my clearances back. So that means your FBI, and they will find anything in your background. You need to be 100% clear about your your work and your education for the past 10 years. If there's any gaps, you better have somebody that can verify why you were unemployed and fill those gaps in. The main thing they're concerned about is the past 3 years, but they are looking at 10 years history. So have good references. Make sure that they know exactly what was going on, whether it's a personal reference. We have one guy that's, for the past 20 years, he's had his own businesses. So he had to provide professional references that could say, yeah, this is what he was doing back during that period for me. So anyway, met a lot of good friends so far. Pretty cool. I've got my trainer assigned to me, Cliff. I met Cliff shortly before actually coming here. And so it happened to turn out that he's a trainer, and he was going to be up here this week. So I talked to him for a couple hours. Both Michelle and I talked to him and his wife for a little while we were at a truck wash, getting the trailer washed, and he was getting his truck and trailer washed. We sat down for a couple hours, and his wife, I think it's Chelsea or Kelsey, talked with us for a little about what it's like being the wife of somebody on the road, and so we decided that he would go ahead and be my trainer. So he's supposed to be here tomorrow. He's running a load. Supposed to be here tomorrow night, and we'll hopefully get on the road. But anyway, where I was leading was some of these guys don't have trainers yet. Some of them do have trainers. Cliff is in the flatbed, and I think the flatbeds are the ones that so far have trainers. I don't know how many reefer guys have it. I did switch to flatbed. I was scared to switch to flatbed, but according to Cliff and his wife, that's probably the only exercise I'm going to get out on the road very often. So everything helps. And he told me that tarping's not as bad as I thought it was, and he stays out of the cold. I just found out tonight when I talked to him on the phone that he stays out of the cold as best as he can. Bonus. And he's a lease operator, which is a direction that I'm strongly considering. So I can learn from his experience. Been doing it for 2 years, and he's making decent money. So really good. So I'm looking forward to getting on the truck with him tomorrow. Some of the other people, they may sit here for a while. Some of them may, if they don't get trucks, they may have to train with the local people here that are doing the training. That happens on occasion. My roommate, he did his 2 weeks of PSD here. Good for him because he got the use of the manual transmission, and he got to do everything that's going to be tested anyway. So real easy for him to pass the test the first time. So for us that aren't doing that, we have to come back and get geared up to run that type of truck. So, but anyway, so it looks like it's looking like it's fun. Long days, get tired at the end of the day. They do feed you every day. We got pizza today. That kind of kicked my butt because pizza obviously not good. Made everybody pretty much tired by the afternoon, but it is what it is, and it was free and it was fun. Sandwiches and soups and salads from this local place pretty much every day for lunch, except for today. Really, really good sandwiches, and I've had a sandwich, I've had a soup, and I've had a salad, and all of them were good, and everybody said the same thing. Everybody's enjoyed what they had. Dinner, you get a voucher every night. They have a special menu here at the grill. You can go down there. You obviously cannot drink, even though it's at the bar. If you get caught, you will get in trouble, and you will go home. But the meals were really good. They're all filling. They do fill you up. Those are free. Breakfast every morning in the hotel, it's okay. Eggs and sausage, it's the same thing. They're not the best scrambled eggs. Sausage is kind of greasy, but you throw them between two pieces of bread and put some cream cheese on it, you're good. Got your standard fruits, your juices, apple juice, orange juice, etc. Coffees, teas. They have a waffle maker and waffle mix, so you can make a waffle. So standard breakfast you're going to find at most hotels. Not bad. Again, free. So overall, I'd recommend it so far. I'm looking forward to getting out on the road and running hard and getting my license, and then going out again, truck and trainer, and running my 30,000 miles, getting back here and upgrading to my own truck. So if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and hit the link for updates. And anytime I put an update, I will. I didn't want to post daily because I wanted to try to get through this and get it all in one video. So this is kind of lengthy, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I will send them out. I don't know how often. I don't know. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like. When I get a time, I'll send some updates. Obviously, for my wife, she'll be hearing from me regularly. So if you want updates from her, you can look and see what I put on Facebook, or you can look and see, or you can text me. If you got my number, text me. I'll be glad to text you back. You can email me, whatever. If you feel like calling me, you can call me, but keep in mind, when I'm driving, my phone's turned off. Michelle will have a number to get a hold of Cliff, my trainer, but my phone will be turned off, so I won't be answering texts during the day, or whatever time I'm running. I won't be. When we get to a stop, I'll return calls if I can, or emails or whatever, but don't look for quick responses like I normally do. Anyway, I guess that's it for now, and I will talk to you guys later, and enjoy and have a wonderful day.